Hello, good morning. I have been asked to relate service contracts and the calendar. The the request is kind of vague. It doesn't tell me if I should do this as a many-to-many relation or as a one-to-many relation or where or and how to do the relation. So I decided to record this video and show at least the three options that come to my mind that are possible uh, to get that relation done. Okay, so here I'm on the service contracts module. As you can see here in the related list, I do not have a calendar. So the goal is to actually relate here, to set there on this list, the calendar, a list of tasks that are related to this service contract. And on this tab here, I have the calendar module, which also does not have any related list here with service contracts. And service contracts is not either on this list of related modules. Okay, so what we can do is first let's set up. Let's go here to service contracts, go to the layout editor, and we'll set up a many-to-many relation list here in the layout editor. Here in the arrange related list, and I'm going to select the calendar to-do list. Okay, that gives me this list here. Now I can go back to the service contracts. And I have my to-do list here now, which we didn't have before. This is a many-to-many relation. I can actually, since it's a many-to-many relation, I can relate this service contract to any existing record. Boy, computer sluggish this morning. Okay, I can pick any one record and it will just get related because it's many-to-many, so it's no problem. Okay, and obviously if I add a new one, that should work also. New SC related and just save. As you can see, there's no service contract direct relation here because it's a many-to-many relation. So I don't have a field here where I can click on the service contract, but they are actually getting related in the background correctly because it's this record can be related to many service contracts and one service contract can be related to many. Okay, that's working correctly. So now let's go. That's one way of setting up the relation. You could you could define the related list on the service contract on the calendar also the same way, and that would give you the list of records. In fact, we could do that. It's probably a good idea. Let's go back here just to see the different options that are possible. Okay, if you remember here on the to-dos, I do not have a related list to service contracts, but now we could go, no, that's not what I wanted to do. We could go here to the layout editor in the calendar. Okay, in the layout editor in the calendar. and pick one of these, this new service contract to do task. Okay, as you remember, there's no service contract, there's no visual link to that service contract here. Okay, because it's a many-to-many relation, it should be here. So let's go to the layout editor in the calendar, and we actually add the related list just as we did before with service contracts. Now, if I reload this to do, I should have a service contract related list, which is many to many, and it gets related to the same service contract that we had before. Okay, so you can actually do a many to many relation just adding the list on both sides. Okay, I'm going to eliminate this list now, and we're going to go to the module manager in the service contracts and get rid of the other related list. So I did that would basically explain how we could set a many-to-many relation between two modules. This would work actually with any modules, not just calendar and service contracts. Okay, that's one. That relation. If I wanted to set up a one-to-many relation, whereas one service contract has many tasks, but the task is related to one service contract, then I need a field. I need a relation field on the to-do. Instead of a related list, I need a field there. So we go to the module manager, to the calendar, layout editor, and we add that field. Okay, so I add a custom field. It's of type relation. This is the service contract. And we select the service contracts module. Okay, so I'm adding a relation field where I'll be able to select on a calendar event what service contract that event is for. That is a one-to-many relation. That in that case is going to be totally different than the one we did before. Okay, so just saving this now adds a new field on the service contracts, on the calendar, excuse me. Okay, so if I come over here to the calendar's records and load the detailed view of this record, I have now the field here, which is a related field, which permits me to select the service contract that this event is related to. So now that means that I have the one here. So on the service contract records, I should have a related list with the many events that could be related to a service contract. Okay, perfect. We have the related list again. This time it's empty. I picked another service contract, and in this time I cannot select. I have only add, and that's because it's a one-to-many relation. So I have exactly one relation field. So if I add a relation field task here, you will see that I get the service contract filled in for me. Okay, very different than the other one, which was many-to-many. Now I have just one, so it actually does the one-to-many relation with service contracts. Okay, let's save that, and I should get this filled in for me. Okay, perfect. Okay, so those are the two options, many-to-many and one-to-many. Now what the other option that I can think of is that, okay, it would be nice to have, instead of having this field separate here, actually have it in this related to list, which is where maybe it should be, because actually this is the field where all it's related, the events are related to all of these things. So instead of having it separate, we could maybe want to have it in here. It's exactly the same relation. This is a one-to-many relation, and this is a one-to-many relation. The only difference is that Here we can have it related to many modules in just one field. It's kind of like a multi-option relation field, while this one is just for service contracts. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of this relation and the other one, and I'm going to try to set up the same relation, but using this field up here. Okay, now to do this, we have to program. We can't do it. We can't do it directly in the layout editor. Okay, so I'm going to go over to to-dos, and I'm going to eliminate this custom field that we added here, which actually I don't know if it will eliminate the, okay, good. If it will it will eliminate the related list on us. Let's have a look. Okay, let's go back, and now I have, okay, it eliminated also the relation with service contracts, which is what it should have done, because that relation is not good anymore. Okay, so now we're going to program this new relation, and we're going to put it into this related to field. Okay, to do that, we have to rev up our editor, and we're going to create a new file here, and we're going to load the, let me see, we're going to load the vtlib module, the library, excuse me, which is very easy to do. It's just a couple of lines. I'm going to copy them from here, and I'm going to set up this also, which is always good practice. Basically, any vtlib script that you launch will look like this. Save this, and I'll go over the commands that are there just to explain a little bit how that works. We're going to call this set service contract relation with calendar. Set SC relation calendar. Okay, it's a PHP file, and we save. These two lines load the vtlib API. I have, just with those two lines, I get access to all of the functionality in the library. I can do all sorts of commands, modify all modules, create things, everything I need. These two lines are just to help me. PHP helps you a lot if you tell it to. It gives you a lot of errors and warnings and tells you if you're doing something wrong, and that's very helpful. And in the context of these changes, you should always be some admin user. It's good practice. It's not mandatory, and sometimes you can get away with not having it, but usually you do need to load this current user variable with the value of a current active admin user. Okay, that establishes the minimum environment for me to be able to program. Okay, so now I'm going to get a module. I'm going to get vtiger. Let me see. I think it's okay. I'm going to do that wrong, so let's just go over and copy it from over here somewhere. It's probably, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so what I do first is get a reference to the CB calendar module, because the field I want to modify is on the calendar. Okay, I'm trying to modify this related to field, and I want to add in this list service contract module. So I want to get a reference to this field. Okay, this field is exactly, the name is related to, is rel ID. Okay, so this is the field I'm looking for on the calendar module. Okay, so I get a reference to the calendar module, and now I have to get a reference to the field itself. Let's see if we have one of those around somewhere so I can copy that and don't have to invent. Okay, I do. Okay, no problem. Let's invent it then. Okay, the field is going to be vtiger field get instance of this field name on this module. Because obviously I can have the same name on different modules. I need to tell it exactly what module I'm looking for this field, and that field can only be one on that module. Okay, so now I have captured the actual field in the application. So now I can manipulate it, I can play with it, I can change it, I can delete it, I can do anything I need to do with that field. So what I want to do is set related modules, and I want to add the service contracts module there. Okay, that's it. That's all basically all I need. Okay, we say I get a reference to the calendar, I get a reference to the field, and I add to the list of modules in that field, which are already a whole bunch. I add another one, which is service contracts. Okay, now I have to add. Now I have to do similar, because since we're programming this totally, we have to do all the work. Now I'm going to get a new reference. Let's put here calendar. This is a reference to the calendar module. Let's change that one. And this is a reference to the service contracts module. Okay, so now I have a reference to the service contracts module. And on the service contracts module, I have to tell it, okay, I want to set a related list to calendar with a label of CB calendar. This will be translated accordingly. And I want it to be a get dependence list, which is a one-to-many relation. This function is intelligent enough to search for the relation with service contracts on this rel ID. Well, it will actually look for any UE type 10 field to establish the relation. Okay, so basically I'm doing the same thing I did in the layout editor. In the layout editor, I went to the calendar module and I added a relation field to service contracts. Okay, and that automatically created the get dependence list, the related list on the service contracts for me. This time I'm going to programming it, so actually I have to do it manually, but I can define in this case exactly what field I want to set that relation on. Okay, so if I save this and I did that correctly, I should be able to get here. I should be able to set here directly. Set SC relation calendar PHP, which is the name I created. I decided to set, and it said that everything went well. So if I now come to the calendar module, and here we can actually in the other tab go and to the service contracts module. Okay, now if I come here, the service this is a to-dos. Okay, and now we edit this record, and we should see here in the list service contracts. And if actually I select a service contract, I will be relating this task to this service contract. Okay, this is planned. It has to be held, for example. Okay, that's saved correctly. It's a service contract. If I click on it, I'll go to that service contract where I have, okay, we didn't delete the to-do list. Okay. Okay, that didn't work and it set it up wrong. Maybe because I'm doing some test here, I overlapped something, or get dependence list. Let me see if I did that wrong, maybe. Or can we see that? Because I usually copy paste this stuff, so come on. Get dependence list. Yeah, okay, I did that right. Get dependence list. Okay, so that's not the problem. Problem is that somehow I have set up two, which could be perfectly because of the test, since I'm playing with the same list all the time and kind of may have gotten just mixed up a little bit. Anyway, let's go have a look, see if I can find out what's going on. Okay, here it comes. Let's go to the related list. And I'm just going to jump to the end because that's probably where this service contract thing just landed. Okay, here we have that. We have a get related list and a get dependence list. Okay, I did the call wrong. Okay, I did the call wrong. That's my fault for doing this on memory. This is add and then the list. Okay, it's the service contract module. I want to relate it with the calendar module. I want to put this label. I want it to be able to support add or select or either, and I want it to call the get dependence list when it is referenced. Okay, so since I did that wrong, it actually decided that I had used the get dependence list here, and it set up a get related list because that was because there was it was the that's the default value. So I have to put this one here, and now I see that I have two related lists there, which is what came up before. Okay, actually, this one on top is good. This is 37 is the service contract module. It's related to 63, which is the calendar module, and it's a get dependence list, and it's in this order. And okay, so really, instead of editing this one, I just have to delete it. This is wrong. The correct one was already there. Okay, so basically that was my mistake because I was working on memory instead of actually doing things correctly, which is I should have seen what the set related list parameters were. Okay, but anyway, this is how this looks. Now, save that just for reference. And now I should be able to reload this page and get the desired results. Okay, so okay, a little long, especially because my computer's really slow. But the three ways of doing that, of setting a relation between two modules, is like this. Okay, one many-to-many, you just go into the layout editor, add the relations list, and that's it. Because many-to-many relations are saved in another table, they're totally module independent, and that just works. One-to-many, you have to add a relation field on the one part of the relation. You can do that in the layout editor. You set up the relation, and it will set up the related list on the other side. And if it's like this case where you actually have a field that semantically or conceptually should hold that relation, like this case, well, you have to go and do it programming, which is not really complicated because, as you can see, basically it's just set up the environment, which is always the same, and get a reference to that field, add the module you want, and then you have to manually add the related list on the other side, which is just, I mean, there's 5 lines of code here. It's extremely simple. I mean, it's not something really complicated to do. Okay, hope that helps. Thanks for watching.